This is Oklahoma's own News on 6 in high definition.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Lori Fullbright. It is another night below the freezing mark on the Osage Casino Skycam network, and the freezing weather and, as you can see, precipitation are combining to make it dangerous on the roads. Tulsa police tell us they are handling a lot of calls for weather-related accidents. And Mike, once we get through tonight, then we have more coming in tomorrow night.
Exactly. Kind of two issues. The first is going on as we speak, and the next will be tomorrow night into Monday with snow potential here across green country. A freezing rain advisory has just been posted for the areas in that light blue color, including Tulsa County and the surrounding counties, as we are dealing with light freezing drizzle occurring, of course, with temperatures at or below freezing. A glaze of ice, that's all it takes to create a lot of issues on the roads, and that's what we may have this evening. Here are the road conditions. Slick and hazardous roads now reported around Tulsa County, Creek, Okmulgee, Rogers, and Osage County. Some slick roadways up by Bartlesville as well. And this is all thanks to the freezing drizzle, which has started to occur within the last hour or two. In downtown, hard to see much because we have that dense fog in place, creating some slick surfaces out there, and the temperatures are at or below freezing. You can see the freezing line superimposed along I-40 and to the north is where the issues will especially be. And in the metro area, not really any spot below or above the freezing mark, so just about any community around Tulsa will have to deal with this through the early morning hours. Icy roads are expected tonight into possibly your Sunday morning, then the attention turns to snow. We'll talk about how much we may see in just a bit. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mike. Well, these freezing temperatures are wreaking havoc on water lines in Tulsa, causing them to break all over the city. Crews have already repaired 17 lines, including one from last night at a West Tulsa apartment complex. The water break flooded Riverview Apartments and forced people there to go without water for more than 24 hours. Dan Bewley has more on the damage caused by this winter weather.
City crews and private contractors worked throughout the night to fix the water line here. It was the second problem for residents here this week. Now, this is what it looked like Saturday morning. Ice covered the ground and small pellets of salt could be seen all over the parking lot. The city says a 16-inch water main broke on Friday, causing water to flood the Riverview apartment complex. Residents had to use sandbags to keep water from entering their homes. Now, the break happened 2 days after a 6-inch water line was replaced on Wednesday. After both incidents, the city had to shut off water to the complex, forcing many residents to leave or take drastic measures just to live their lives.
I had to fill up my bathtub so we could flush our toilets. I can't wash dishes. I can't do anything, so it's hard. It's really hard to deal with this right now.
Now, the city says it does plan to come out here and help clean up the mess that was caused by that water line break, but it won't be for a few days until they've addressed some of the other water line breaks across town. In Tulsa, Dan Bewley, News on 6 tonight.
Another line broke this afternoon on 21st Street in Tulsa. Crews have that street between Yorktown and Utica closed to work on that line tonight. Goldie's and Wendy's are both without water. Crews expect to have the 16-inch line fixed sometime tomorrow. We are getting confirmed reports tonight of an earthquake shaking the Sooner State. The U.S. Geological Survey says that quake happened just after 8 northeast of Guthrie in Logan County. It was a 4.4 magnitude quake. Typically, quakes have to get above 5.0 to cause any damage, but our viewers tell us they felt that quake all the way here in Tulsa, which is nearly 100 miles away from that epicenter. Still, no reports of damage or injury right now. A Tulsa jury wants a convicted murderer to spend the rest of his life behind bars. A jury found DEANDRE BETHEL guilty of murdering Byron Ivory. Police say Ivory was sitting in a car with some friends outside a bar 2 years ago when two men came up, pointed guns at the men, and demanded their wallets and cell phones. Ivory was shot several times and killed. The jury recommended Bethel spend life in prison plus 5 years. The other suspect in this case, DeAndre Williams, goes on trial next Monday. 5 people are alive tonight thanks to the heroic actions of a passerby and a police officer. Police say the driver of this Infiniti sedan was going on Harvard around midnight when he hit a curb and slammed into a traffic signal pole. As you can see, that's when it caught on fire. A passerby jumped into action and pulled 4 people out of the car, but one was still trapped inside. When police got there, they were able to pull him out, but then they realized those victims still weren't safe.
Myself and the other officers were able to pull everyone else back, at which time the traffic signal shifted shortly after, knocking that power line down onto the ground where those people were laying. All
5 victims were taken to a hospital. We're told only one of them had serious injuries. Voters in Claremore will head to the polls on Tuesday to decide whether to extend a 1% sales tax that's already in place. That sales tax was first approved by voters nearly half a century ago to help fund the city's police and fire departments. Revenues from that sales tax also go to capital improvements in the city.
When you look at a police and fire budget, their budgets are about $4 million each. And so they get about $650,000 each from this sales tax revenue. So it's critical to maintain the quality of services that we give to our residents here in Claremore.
The folks in Claremore vote on that tax every 6 years. If it is not renewed, city leaders say city services would be reduced because of a lack of funding. Road work is going on tonight that could impact your driving tomorrow. Lanes are closed through tomorrow night on Southwest Boulevard near 17th Street, which is right by the OSU Medical Center. Those closures are part of the I-244 Arkansas Bridge project and should only last through tomorrow night. You can stay up to date on all closures across the area by checking out the Daily Detours section of newson6.com. A dream that has been years in the making becomes a reality in the day ahead. The Eastern Flyer makes its inaugural trip from Tulsa to Oklahoma City tomorrow. The train will depart from Sapulpa with a sold-out crowd, including a member of News on 6. So be sure to tune in tomorrow for an in-depth look at that travel experience. Well, 2 Green Country High School basketball teams put aside their rivalry in order to help fight a deadly disease. One of their coaches is on the sidelines because of that disease, and tonight's game was a fundraiser. News on 6 reporter Tony Russell talked with supporters in Pryor at tonight's game.
During tonight's warm-ups, both the Tahlequah Tigers and the Pryor Tigers wore this shirt to benefit Coach Todd Hicks. The rivalry between the 2 Tigers, Pryor and Tahlequah, usually has these girls basketball players looking to take home bragging rights. But at tonight's game, it's not about who wins or loses, but helping out their coach.
Them pitching in, I mean, it really sets a tone.
Pryor High School basketball coach Todd Hicks is suffering from ALS, a terminal illness also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Saturday night's basketball game was named in honor of Coach Hicks. Hicks's wife can't believe the support from the 2 communities.
No matter what we need, there's always been somebody that we can call or somebody that calls us and says, what do you need? How can we help? And they make it happen.
Coach Hicks's former players are grateful that teams have come together for a good cause.
To show outside the court, it really means something.
The money will help Coach Hicks's pay for travel to get medical treatments he needs.
This will make sure that we have what he needs to be able to, be Todd for as long as he can.
More than $3,500 has been raised so far. Coming up on Monday, a benefit dinner will be held in Tahlequah. I'm Tony Russell, News on 6 Tonight.
While most of us stay bundled up and inside in weather like this, a few dozen bared it all and jumped into some freezing cold water. What got these Green Country folks doing a polar plunge? And this polar weather looks like it's going to get worse before it gets better. Mike Grogan tells us what time the next system will move in tomorrow. Hundreds came out to support the dozens who took the polar bear plunge in Muskogee today. These brave, crazy souls jumped into Three Forks Harbor to raise money for the Muskogee County Council of Youth Services. They raised $4,000 for services across Muskogee and all of Wagoner County. That's a caring group of people right there.
That's right. It's one way to do it. Probably not the way I would choose to support.
Because it was 32 degrees. That was the high.
That was the high there today. Not getting above freezing, and it's icy out there tonight. So they were feeling icy. We're having to deal with those issues as well. First of all, we're going to look at relative humidity. Doesn't sound so exciting, but this is what tells us the potential for fog out there, and that is what we have along with drizzle up and down Highway 75. That kind of seems to be the center line for some of the drizzle. So that encompasses much of Tulsa. Bartlesville, you're also at 100% relative humidity. Okmulgee, these are the areas we're most concerned about there being some freezing conditions on the roadways. A lot of roads around Tulsa are becoming slick and hazardous, and we want you to be careful and not to travel if you don't have to tonight. Not as much humidity of higher humidity values near the Oklahoma-Arkansas line, at least less reports of icy roadways there, but we are still going to be concerned about this area where the freezing rain advisory is in effect until 10 o'clock on your Sunday morning. Temperatures are not far below freezing, but it only takes a degree or two below freezing to really see a lot of issues on roads. roads. Tulsa's at 31, Bartlesville's at 30, we're at 32 in Eufaula, and 31 degrees in Muskogee. So watching out for those specific spots for difficult roadways. And as we look at US 169 and 71st Street there, a busy corridor, and you can see the roadways look wet, but that glare could be ice. And we don't exactly know where that ice is, but the bridges are the most likely places for it. You just want to be slow and steady if you have to be on the roads tonight. And of course, will be an ongoing issue until temperatures warm above freezing or the moisture dissipates. And right now, neither of which are occurring. So our temperature is 31, 92% relative humidity at the airport with very little wind to kind of stir and mix out the atmosphere of that moisture. Okay, so that's the first part of the issue. We have kind of a stagnant air mass, and once that cold front in Kansas moves through, we're going to see a little more wind, and that is going to help the issues with the fog just a bit and dry us out. But our next system is moving through the the Rockies, I'd say, and the upper atmosphere. That is going to be traveling our way. Give us a snow chance coming up in just 24 hours from now. Our timeline shows the chance of snow going up substantially really after midnight on your Monday morning. So Monday morning, things are going to be going downhill in terms of travel once again. Snow appears likely during the midday and afternoon hours, and then tapering off by Tuesday morning. It does look like it's a one-day event for the most part, but we still might have the issues lasting into Tuesday with below normal temperatures and below freezing temperatures at that. And once again, freezing fog an issue into your early Sunday morning as well. We'll take you there in our future view model. It keeps us all locked into the clouds through Sunday morning. We might have a few breaks by morning, and then during the day, we'll still stay mostly cloudy. The good news is most of tomorrow will be dry. Taking you through tomorrow night, though, you'll start to see the moisture arriving in from Kansas, diving in out of the northwest. Initially, it may be light snow, not too big of a deal on Monday morning in some spots. However, the snow will begin to increase in coverage and intensity during the day. This particular model highlights southern Oklahoma as the area for heaviest snow. I've seen various solutions, though, so that could push the heavy snow into Tulsa very easily. Through tomorrow night into your early Tuesday morning, we're going to see the snow exiting, but still be leaving us with a couple inches of snow. There might even be a band of 2 to 4, maybe 5 inches. Right now, I'm targeting the area around Highway 412. That would include Tulsa, Stillwater, Muskogee, down towards about the Tahlequah area for some of the heavier totals, and on the outlying locations, maybe 1 to 2 inches. Either way, the snow will be falling in a very cold air mass, and whatever falls could be sticking to the road. So yet more travel issues to come, but this will be the final winter storm we see in our forecast. Our day planner for your Sunday, watching for the fog dissipating during the morning hours, but some slick spots may remain cold and breezy through the day, and we might have some flurries developing by afternoon, especially to the north and west. After that, we're dealing with temperatures below freezing for the next 2 days, and that does mean travel conditions going downhill for your Monday. Tuesday, maybe some issues. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're warming up, and Valentine's Day, hey, there's something to feel a little warmer about.
To. That's exactly right.
50s, yes.
Thank you. Well, the Sooners trying to get back on track in the Big 12 race, while Oklahoma State tries to right the ship in Lubbock.
This is the Oklahoma Ford Sports Blitz.
The Sooners were back at home tonight against Baylor. After a pair of tough road losses this week, Oklahoma trying to get back on track and to hold on to third place in the Big 12. The Sooners won the first matchup with the Bears by just 2 points down in Waco. Buddy Hield was feeling it early off a Jordan Woodard steal. Hield finishes with a slam to put OU up 4. Later in the first, Ryan Spangler, the big fella with the drive and the dish to Isaiah Cousins. He hits the 3. Sooners up 8 at the half. Second half, now it's Cousins again. Nice crossover. The step back 3 is pure. That made it a 57-49 lead. 8 minutes to go now. Jelon Hornbeek misses the free throw, but runs right in, gets his own rebound, and puts it back in. Sooners cruise to an 88-72 win.
Both teams played hard and played with good energy. Our guys have done that pretty consistently on the year, so appreciate that out of them, and made some shots and still couldn't quite get away from Baylor. I thought they did a lot of good things too. Their size really bothers us in some ways, but a lot of different guys making good plays for us.
The Cowboys are at Texas Tech tonight. The Oklahoma State basketball team is like a Corvette, loaded with features and can leave people in the dust, but Corvettes aren't any good in the snow. Right now, OSU is trying to navigate the turnpike during a blizzard. The Cowboys have lost 3 straight, 4 of their last 5. Taking on Texas Tech in Lubbock tonight. OSU in transition. Phil Forte's 3 is good. Capped off a 10-0 Cowboy run that gave OSU a 4-point lead. Cowboys down 2 at the half. Second half now. Forte again a deep 3. Puts OSU up 44-36, but here comes Tech. Randy Unwasor hits the 3 to pull the Red Raiders within 1. Last check of the score, Texas Tech clinging to a 1-point lead, 7 minutes to go. Texas took its 7-game winning streak into the Octagon of Doom in the Little Apple. Marcus Foster had a career-high 34 points for the Wildcats. That's most for a K-State freshman since Michael Beasley in 2008. His 3 there put K-State up 19. The Wildcats cruised past number 15, Texas, 74-57. Wild finish in the SEC. Arkansas on the road at Vanderbilt. Time running down. It's Michael Qualls. A 3 from the corner with 3 seconds left gives the Hogs a 2-point lead. Vandy with a chance at the buzzer, but it's no good. Arkansas gets its first road win of the season, 77-75. ORU looks for its 2nd straight win as the Eagles host Southeastern Louisiana when we come back. The Golden Hurricane bounced back from Thursday night's loss at Louisiana Tech with a 66-56 win at Rice this afternoon. Rashad Smith scored 18 points while James Woodard chipped in 15. Tulsa's now 6-3 in Conference USA, 2 games back of Southern Miss and UTEP. It was homecoming tonight at the Mabee Center. Golden Eagles hosting Southeastern Louisiana. Oral Roberts trying to avoid its 5th home loss of the season, its most since 2001. Jabari Singleton starts it off with the drive, the dish to Corey Bilberry for the jumper. It's 9-0 ORU. Bilberry then driving inside. He's going to keep it himself off the glass and in. 19-8 at that point. Sean Glover gets a friendly roll to make it 23-9. Nice passing here. Brandon Word hits the 3. The Golden Eagles win 71-54. ORU continuing to work its way back into the Southland Conference race. The Eagles hosting Southeastern Louisiana. Kaylin Mayberry hits the triple. That's good. And then how about this? Down to the wire, it's Christian Key with the buzzer beater. How about that? ORU wins 81-78.
All right, thank you. And one quick look at the weather before we go.
Yeah, a little ice potential tonight and then snow coming up tomorrow night into Monday.
Okay, be careful out there. Have a great evening, everyone. Good night.